Let's have some fun. Or not.
So we say starting with ping pong.
Okay,
No.
welcome everyone. So Catalin just did a session with cats, okay? And there was a reason why we swapped his session with the next session, okay? The reason is we're gonna have a lot of violence and we wanted him alive for his earlier session, okay? So we will try to keep most people alive, but we make no guarantees, okay?
And for sure the cats. The people are not that important, but the cats.
Okay, so Katrina, Catalin, and I will have the next session, and we'll have some strange situations happening here. And first of all, of course, we're going to talk about OpenAI because everyone talks about OpenAI, but we'll also talk about different things. And one of the things is that, of course, we need to talk about the sponsors. Yeah. Okay. Well, they pay for the food.
Yeah.
Do you guys like the food? Was that okay? Was that okay?
Yeah.
Or was that?
It was okay.
Or was that like this? Which one? Which one? Okay, that's because we want more food next time, so we have to do these kind of things. Okay. So what we initially considered was something much simpler, but then we had some talks. I went to Prague a few months ago, and then I went to Brazil, and I saw and we did different sessions where people were, I don't know, fighting, okay? So how many of you fight during Christmas with your family? Come on, be honest. Everyone? In the last few years, everyone has fought. Okay, so let's make this very violent as much as we can, right? Okay, let's have some fun with this. So, this is going to be our session. We'll do some fighting over here, and we'll call it Azure Fight. Okay, so we will have, many of us. We will talk. We will do sessions. We will discuss some topics. It can go terribly well. It can go terribly wrong, but we'll have some fun. Okay. And we'll see what happens, okay? And there was only one rule about our Azure Fight Club, is that everyone can share about it on social media, okay? Nothing wrong with that, okay? We can talk about the Fight Club, okay? So let's get started. And the first one is moderated by Katrina, right?
Yeah, actually, the fights are always like people learn some tools and they think, yeah, I use Excel for everything, it's the best. And then there are professionals for all the tools, and they have their own opinions. What's better, OpenAI, large language models, or machine learning?
Okay,
What's the difference even? I don't know.
So I guess I'll take OpenAI, you take machine learning?
Yeah, that's that. I draw the short straw.
Okay.
Short straw even I'm bigger.
By the way, there are no rules. This can go terribly wrong, okay?
Yeah.
So where should we start? Do you want to suggest something?
You at least have chosen your favorites, but why? Why would you choose that?
Okay, so it doesn't have to be my favorite. So we have a large language models. Catalin already mentioned a few things about GPT, etc. So when you have OpenAI, everyone's talking. How many of you tried ChatGPT at least, right? Okay. How many of you tried Bing chats? Oh, a lot of you. Okay, did that go better than ChatGPT?
What's your favorite?
Yeah. What's your favorite? Is it Bing? Is it ChatGPT? Okay, because Bing is free and it has GPT-4, so...
Yeah, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not the only elephant on the... let's not talk about dimensions on the block.
So large language models, if you're not aware of this, are very big machine learning models that are trained based on a lot of information that is based actually on language. So big texts, pages from the internet, etc. And GPT-3 and 3.5 and now GPT-4 were actually created based on the information from the internet. Millions and millions, actually more than that, millions of pages, I suppose. Oh, this could go terribly wrong.
Too much. Yeah.
Okay, and those pages were actually used to train a model, which was the large language model called GPT. So GPT has a weird name. So generative pre-trained transformers. Anyone know what that means? It's not related to transformers from
We have
the
chocolate
80s,
still.
okay?
Quite a lot. And now we passed with Rudolph from Babbo Natale. So, chocolates.
Okay, I'll go to that side now, but I'll take the sword.
Yeah.
Okay, just in case we might need this, we never know. So large language models are actually not easy to deploy. So when you have things like OpenAI, and of course it has a lot of GPT models, when you have things like IBM Watson X, when you have things like Llama from Facebook, you know, Llama. A llama is like an animal, right? So 2 humps, that means camel, 1 hump dromedary, 0 humps llama. Okay, so in case everyone doesn't know the sizes
How about
of the
zebra?
animals.
Dr. House zebra.
No zebras.
If you have hooves and you hear the sound, it's a horse, not a zebra.
Okay, so large language models allow you to actually interact with it using normal texts. Okay. However, normal machine learning will only allow you to do limited things. Isn't that right?
Anyhow, what I'm saying, and I was saying also in my session before, the big problem with these big models that sometimes you have confidential data, I do not want to send it up there. Okay, this is one of the big problems. And second, you want to make the model, again, my favorite example with the thermometer. So we train that model with the actual image from the actual cameras of the actual thermometers. So it was a very good precision. This with ChatGPT, yeah, or some other big models. Yes, they can start you, yes, they can do a lot of stuff, but sometimes you do not need an axe, sometimes you need a scalpel. And the scalpel that you need, in fact, let me be a Flintstone. Yeah, it's something that you do it yourself. It's very sharp. It's a bit primitive, but it does the job, and it's sharper than any knife. So compared to a big axe that you take from the shop, which it's absolutely sharp, but sometimes won't cut the job. So yeah, I believe that it's a place for everything. If I am to pick the biggest issue, it's privacy. And okay, you see, I work a lot with German customers, so that's the issue. They ask you from where it's my code, who sees my code, and stuff like this. Who is able to see how many people are interacting with this and with that. And yeah, that's, I believe, a point for me.
Okay, so you are attacking me by talking about privacy. Okay, so in terms of privacy, let's talk about that. Of course, if you use machine learning, you can do it from an IoT device. We've seen that Catalin has shown a few examples.
Also, ChatGPT, you can run it, try to run it, and not doing directly inference there, but you are trying to push the data to the service which is in the cloud. Yes, Andrè was doing a point for me because we can run the model on the hardware itself on the edge. ChatGPT, it's a bit difficult. It's calling an API someplace. So if you do not have internet connectivity, yeah.
The best fighters even defend the other side as
Yeah.
well, right? So what actually happens is that you have, let's say you want to use GPT. Let's say GPT-4, GPT 3.5 Turbo, it doesn't really matter, okay? You have 2 options of doing that at this moment. You have the option to talk to OpenAI directly, and they will actually host things in Azure, but they will handle things. It's an American company, they will do things, okay? Or you have another alternative, which is you can just talk to Microsoft. Microsoft has a copy of those GPT models, and it has nothing to do with OpenAI, so it's just between you and Microsoft, so you can just talk to them. In terms of price, it's very cheap as well, so you can interact with GPT models directly. You can do completely crazy things like creating websites and things like that, where you can actually have a chatbot with OpenAI, so that works okay. The only downside is, as Catalin mentioned, privacy, because you are always sending things to the clouds. While a simple, large language model...
Since you opened the... Let me hit you on your So yeah, but the pricing, as I've shown you, cognitive services, for example, for images, for 2 models is free, more or less free. Also in the text world, there are some pretty good prices. So again, for minute operations, the pricing, it could be better.
So I would say that the large language models have that limitation, but they are very powerful. But for most of the applications, it is true, you can still use normal machine learning where you train it yourself, etc., and actually use it. So, you know, you can't win them all, okay? Anyway, we have no rules, so that means that even the audience can ask questions.
Yes, and also there will be a bribe with chocolates, because I'm from Romania. Yeah, he's an amateur from Portugal, so he does not know how we, you know, the Imperio Romane tradizione.
Okay. So, any
questions?
Yeah. No? Or do you want us to move on to the next one? Yeah? Okay.
I think yeah. No questions.
Okay. What's the next one?
I'm afraid to use your mouse because...
Oh, just click once.
Yeah, his computer, it's not controlled by CIA.
Okay. So, next one. Oh, okay. So, next one is OpenAI chatbots versus Power Virtual Agents. You are moderating, so... Okay.
In my case, I will...
So, box. I want a fair fight. Only valid arguments. No hallucinations.
Okay.
So, box. Start. Yeah.
I'm old. Okay. Oh, you can... Oh, guys, next round. Okay.
So, Katrina, introduce your technology.
I was excited about Power Virtual Agents, but it got renamed again, so now it's Copilot Studio. And to me, it's a tool which helps me in my team to like consult the usual questions my teammates have, so I don't answer on Teams all the time, and they just ask the chatbot what this shortcut means or whatever. So I really like this, but to me it was very intuitive to make, and we use it a lot. I got excited, but I have some cons as well. Maybe we will get to this.
Okay. Now, first, Andrè, introduce your technology. We want to see you. Okay. Andrè is coming, the world champion with OpenAI chatbot.
So of course, Power Virtual Agents is a technology that uses the bot framework, but if you go for an OpenAI chatbot, you can actually create a very simple chatbot with a few lines of code, and that actually uses very intelligent language, which is you take the models from GPT models, etc., and you ask anything, and you get anything as an answer back. So it's a more intelligent kind of an answer. Okay?
But Copilot Studio doesn't show you any code. It's just like boxes.
So, okay, so you do need to have some developer actually do the OpenAI chatbot. That is indeed a limitation.
Also, I need to say that it has some code, but it doesn't show it to you.
Yeah, but I want to say
we can beat up the moderator as well. That's okay.
Show your advantages. So, Katrina, Power Virtual Agent, Copilot Studio.
Low code it is.
Okay, low code.
Yeah, it hits from you some yet another markup language, but basically as a user I can just open it in Teams and design my chatbot, like just questions, answers, and topics.
Okay, Andrè, your
okay, how many of you are developers? It has
That's
code.
not fair.
It has code. Okay, so I guess both of them are nice. Okay, in fact, I think with the Copilot Studio renamed, they will even have OpenAI mixed into this. So it's not a fair fight, because in reality, OpenAI is actually going to take over everything. But if you are using OpenAI and create your own chatbot with OpenAI, you are limited because you cannot do it without doing some kind of coding, okay? If you use Power Virtual Agents, it is indeed easier because you can just click a few buttons and things will work.
Okay, now, starting from Andrè. Tell the disadvantages of the Power Virtual Agents. What are the disadvantages?
It's for any user. Oh, it's very expensive. It's very expensive. You have to pay a lot of money for that. But with OpenAI, it's much better because you pay, I don't know, you pay a few cents for every message. But the problem is if a lot of people are using it, then OpenAI becomes more expensive. So it kind of depends on your usage.
Defend.
Defends the disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. Find the disadvantages and attack them. The attack is the best form of defense. What are the disadvantages of OpenAI chatbot?
I think it's not reliable to me. Like it answers whatever he thinks it. Yeah, how it hallucinates. Exactly. You can't believe it. I don't even really believe ChatGPT actually.
Okay.
Let's put it this way.
It's kind of
It's
true.
just making
It's kind of true.
stuff
Okay.
up.
Some of the Italian translations, we made it with ChatGPT. So if we said that, yeah, we're not guilty.
Okay, so it is indeed true that there was some level of hallucination with OpenAI models. Actually, all models are like this. That's a limitation. But we have to admit that if you use GPT-4 instead of GPT-3, the hallucinations are much smaller. I usually mention that GPT models are like small kids. If it is GPT-3 point something, it's like a 2-year-old kid, okay? So if you have a 2-year-old kid, you know that the kid is gonna, want to learn things, want to talk to you, etc. But it's going to do a lot of things wrong, like cats, pretty much, right? But if you have GPT-4, it's going to be like a 5-6-year-old. It will still behave erratically, so if they don't like to do something, they won't, but they will behave much better, okay? However, Power Virtual Agents, you have to plan for all of the things you're going to say.
Yeah, Power Virtual Agents, Copilot Studio. It has a new name. It's very precise because you define all the topics yourself, but it's so much work. Like you need really to say, and the user says so, and I'll answer this, and then he chooses something, and you do the whole diagram, how the conversation goes, and it's just a lot of work to design it.
You should not run, attack.
But it's precise.
Yeah, okay.
You know where the conversation
okay.
leads when you design it.
So let's ask the audience, how many of you have used Power Virtual Agents? A few of you, okay. Did you like it? Okay. Was it easy to work with?
So,
okay.
Let's give to courageous
Okay.
experimenters.
So, we have no rules. We can get people from the audience to come up here and fight, okay? We can do that, okay?
No mud wrestling, please.
Okay, so I guess we can move on to...
I think like Copilot Studio is good when you want to lead a person to some state, like to make an order or to find some piece of the documentation, so you have everything planned for them. That's good, but it's something, it's not clever, you just design everything.
Okay. So let's go to the next fight.
Next fight?
Who won the round?
Who won the fight?
Applause for Andrè.
I can applause too.
Let's see if Katrina has more applause than Andrè.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next one. What is the next one? I have no idea.
What's the next one?
You can click on it directly.
Yeah, because
Oh.
naughty stuff again.
Oh yeah, we have naughty stuff. Okay, so what's the next one? Okay, so this one is, you moderate again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna fight you again with cognitive services. Oh, no, you go this way, because the sword is this way.
You can take it with you.
Okay, okay. So, Katrina, feel free to start. Is that yours or mine? Okay. Okay,
Who
that
has
is yours.
what? Who fights for Azure AI?
Oh, I think I'll do that. Oh, no, he does that.
And so Catalin fights for Azure AI and Andrè for cognitive services.
Now I'm fighting for cognitive services.
You have
No,
changed.
no, that's true. That's true. No, no, that's right. Oh,
You have 2 microphones now.
even with 2 microphones,
Okay.
I'm already winning, right? Okay, let's start.
So what's the Azure AI?
I would say the cognitive services, and I already show you, because that was a good idea to do my session before, because, yeah, I show you everything, I show you the demos, and now I can say, I could be lazy like a Romanian, I show you before. Enjoy, you see it working. So, cognitive services, yeah, it's a collection, it's much more than what I saw you. There are also inroads in text and some other stuff besides the vision. It sometimes could be quite cheap. They can do a lot of stuff, language understanding, speech to text, text to speech, image, and a lot of other stuff. What you can do, Andrè?
Okay.
Say, what you can do? Show us.
So with OpenAI, I can do a lot of different things. So I can talk about language, so I can interact, generate texts, get sentiment analysis from texts, get information, extract data from texts. But I can also handle images. I can create images. I can analyze images.
Me too.
Okay.
Everything is me too.
And I can even use Whisper and do, text-to-speech and things like that.
Me too.
Okay, is that
Why should we go to Azure OpenAI when we have cognitive services?
because it's more expensive? I'm offering this one, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in my corner. It was a good goal. Okay, that wasn't good in English.
Okay, so the idea here is that okay, so 2 microphones and it's still not done. So this is a problem.
Sorry.
Okay.
So now I can continue. So let's say what songs do you want? It's the karaoke version.
Okay, so but how many voices do you have in your text-to-speech?
I do not understand the prompt.
Yes, because we have 5 voices.
We
Okay.
do not have. We have a good number.
Yeah.
What's a good number?
You are the moderator. You shouldn't get into the fight.
Yeah, it's like 20, dude.
Okay,
I don't know, something like that.
20.
I think
It depends.
wasn't it more? I don't know. Okay.
In most cases.
Yeah,
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah. And also, let's talk about language support. Which language you do support?
Well, mostly Python. Yeah.
But
so-
not language, like posso parlare italiano a OpenAI.
Okay,
Che,
so
che dice OpenAI?
okay, so I know that cognitive services or AI services in Azure actually support a lot of languages, but OpenAI natively supports a lot of languages because it just learned from the internet for all of these languages. So maybe that's actually a good thing. It learned naturally.
Maybe. Now let's put it this way, it's a brave new world. We are all exploring and some documentation is changed. Today I took last month yet again the renewal for IA 102, the one with artificial intelligence cognitive services. Today I go into a refresher for these questions. They changed the whole documentation. So yeah, now they are moving from cognitive services documentation with the flavor of OpenAI and some stuff. Yeah, and sometimes we discover that some language more they are supported from yesterday to today. Like it was the last days, the announcement of ChatGPT Vision on Azure. So,
Okay, so I would say that OpenAI is very trending. Everyone is using it nowadays. So maybe we should try new things other than the cognitive services that have existed for 6 or 7 years.
out of context, this again sounds interesting. I won't get into details.
Okay, no, but getting serious now. usually the recommendation is, we're joking a bit, but usually the recommendation is, if you want to do something simple like translating a text or maybe even text-to-speech to generate the text, etc., cognitive services are indeed better, okay? So if you use cognitive services, they are much, much cheaper, okay? And they have been tested for, I don't know, 10 years, something like that or more, so they work really better, okay? So I would say that OpenAI will eventually have other services that support this, but they are doing a lot of research into this, but they are still not at the level, at least speech, at the Microsoft level.
I want to say, okay, cognitive services work on some are not large models. ChatGPT has a potential to understand better, especially natural languages, because he goes over the internet. He sees how we speak in our social accounts, how we speak. He gets all the stuff. He has a huge base of training. So essentially, we'll get faster and better understanding foreign languages. And yeah. We are, unfortunately, not speaking English back home, neither of our nations.
Okay, but if you go for language, OpenAI is a bit better.
Yeah,
okay?
This is what I'm saying.
Exactly. So if you go for things like breaking down a sentence, let's say you have an IoT device, and an IoT device has things like, oh, please turn on the lights, please turn off the lights, do this, do that. You know, OpenAI is better at this because they naturally understand all of this, okay? The downside is you have to be connected to the internet. And
yeah, but we're in 21st century.
yeah, so if you don't have connectivity at home or something runs out.
You do not have connectivity at home? How many homes do you have, by the way?
Oh, it's just one for the cats and a few more. So
One for each cat.
It's not my house, it's my cat's house. That's what I was told. So, you know, I go there and live sometimes.
Your house is where your pussy is.
So, but you have much more cats than I do. I currently only have one. He has 6. Okay, so.
And you can guess how many I had before. This is outside the scope.
Well, 5.
23.
As languages. What about the sentimental analysis?
Oh.
Like the language is language. But
Oh, yeah. What's the sentiment of Andrè?
So I would say that OpenAI is a bit better in terms of sentiment.
Well, again, because he has a bigger base of getting the data. This one, the cognitive services are trained on smaller data. Okay, if you want to do something precise, for example, how the people are reacting in some restaurant which the food is very hot. Then you take pictures of that people, and most probably if you are doing a training of using cognitive services will be better, because this is not something very common, something that OpenAI cannot find over the internet, and enough pictures and enough information to get this sentiment of people in pain but liking very hot food. So.
Okay, who wants here?
Now, there is a list. Okay. There is a method in madness.
Depends of your aversion to losing money or paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, we shouldn't ask who won because that's just bad. I might lose. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So IoT. So this would be great with an external guest.
Actually,
yeah, which
I
was
had a problem at home yesterday because my internet provider restarted something in the network and my aquarium stopped shutting off. So fishes were swimming in the light all the time.
You have
it's again politically incorrect talking about fishes.
So it's like the technical problems with Wi-Fi leads to like dying in aquariums.
The question is, how many of you think it's a good idea to have fish associated with IoT?
They have feeder, they have the lights. I live for
let me give a chocolate for the brave people who believe that it's a good idea.
So
it works if you don't mess with your Wi-Fi.
Sorry.
So actually the questions that we had for this fight were actually the continuation of the previous fights. Okay? If you want to. Yeah. So we have one more round, by the way. We have one more round. But I think that this one is almost complete because in the previous session, in previous fights, we were actually talking about this, right? So we talked about at home having domotics, and with OpenAI, you still have to have an internet connectivity. Right?
Yeah, generally need to have. And also the problem with all this, it's that we need a bit power for specialized hardware. So, Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Okay, last session. Who wants to suggest topics? We have a few minutes left. Who wants to suggest topics? Any topic? Okay. Any suggestions?
So
let's
not make a precedent. Andrè never finished a session on time in his entire career of thousands of presentations.
Okay,
so let's not start here, please.
Okay, how many of you have used OpenAI but actually going into the APIs, either directly with OpenAI or with Azure OpenAI? How many of you have actually used the APIs?
I still can get
okay,
my hand up.
Okay, so I guess we have 1 or 2 minutes, maybe just to show a quick demo about OpenAI and how to do that. Okay, so one of the things that you can do, let's see if this works. Okay, we have a few minutes because we thought, oh, let's fight, but also let's demo fight as well. Okay, and one of the things that you can do is you can go to Azure and create an open, so I can actually show you. So you start with Azure, okay? So we have fighting going on here as well with,
and
with a nice cat as well, okay? So we have, you can go here to the plus sign and say, let's create an open AI resource, okay? And you can try this at home if you'd like. So OpenAI, okay? And this might be a bit dark, so let me just change the color. I didn't anticipate this problem. So let's just change the color so that this works for everyone, okay? Better? Okay. So let's say plus OpenAI, okay? And then with OpenAI, you can create the records of the service of Azure OpenAI, okay? Now, what actually happens is that you can create a service, but let's say that I create a service in a subscription that doesn't have that possibility yet. So they ask you to enter this form where you subscribe for this. It takes a few days for you to be approved, okay? But you answer the questions and you get approved. If, however, you already are approved in a certain subscription, let's go for this. You can just create that in any of these regions, and some of these have more things than others, so it will kind of depend, okay? If you want to try things like GPT-4, you have to try Switzerland, or you have to try, I think, France Central. If you want to try GPT 3.5, in that case, you can try West Europe, which is basically in Amsterdam, okay? So if you want to keep to GDPR and be inside the European Union, so you have West Europe and you have France to be GPT 3.5 or GPT 4, okay? I have both. So you just say, you give it a name, etc. There's only one pricing tier, which is the current one. So for every 1,000 tokens, which is almost the same as words, not the same, but almost the same as the number of words, okay? 75%, give or take, okay? In that case, you pay something like 0.06 or something like that in the cheapest one, okay? For every 1,000, okay? But that could be more expensive if you go for GPT-4, if you go for bigger context size, etc. I don't want to go into details, it's just that it is possible, okay? So once you do that, you can go here and actually open the studio, and I have one here. This one says East US, okay? And yes, I was ready for the fight when I took that photo already.
Or ready to eat.
And you can create, so we talked about Power Virtual Agents. Let me show you quickly. So we had a few people that tried Power Virtual Agents by creating a chatbot. This was actually very easy to do because there was a wizard. You can just go to Office 365, and from there you can create a Power Virtual Agents for trial.
In Teams.
Yeah.
No.
So, oh, feel free to continue.
So it's integrated in Microsoft Teams. That's actually one of the advantages, that if you have the Office 365 license, there is a Power Virtual Agents application in Microsoft Teams, and there it will be for free. The other way, you will need to pay like 200 a month.
It's more expensive. I can't remember the price, but it's a bit bad.
Maybe.
It's very expensive per
But
month.
in Teams, it's for free.
Yeah.
You just go and use it.
For Teams, you can only use it inside your own organization, but for the public one, it is a bit more expensive, but it does have one advantage. You pay fixed price per month. In here, you pay for every usage. So more usage, more payment, right? So it's an advantage and a disadvantage. Now, I'll give you an example how we can do this, okay? So let's say that, okay, give me a second. Let me just get rid of this. Let's say that we are here and we define a rule, okay? You are Yoda, because Yoda also fights, you know, of course, a small guy, but dude fights. You are Yoda, and you only speak in the Yoda language, okay? You answer any question with Star Wars references. Does that seem okay for everyone? Reasonable?
Of course.
Okay, let's
use the force, Andrè.
The force is strong with this one. Okay, so you are Yoda, and now we go and start chatting. If I say hello, oh, sorry. This is so annoying. Okay, hello. I could say hello, dudes, but hello. Greetings, young Padawan. Strong with the force are you. Okay, so this is all it takes to create a bot that's actually answering things.
A very useful one to answer in Yoda language.
Okay. Oh, you should try the rock bot. You answer everything with rock songs. Okay, that's amazing as well. Okay, so you can continue this, of course. I don't want to waste that much time, but let's say that you go for view codes. Okay, this one is Python, but you also have for C# and you also have for others. This one is very simple. Okay, so all you have to do is to enter the information that's needed about the endpoint that you are using somewhere online, and then the actual key that you need to use to access the services and actually pay, okay? And from that point on, you can just say, oh, look, let me create a text message that says the role of system. That's your system message. That's the rules, let's call it like that. And then the first one is to say hello, and then I got an answer back already, but typically you don't get the answer already. So this is the example of the result already. But the last message is usually the user sending a request to the cloud, right? Now, what happens is that you can even define a few other things. So if you want to get the Yoda drunk, you put temperature higher, closer to 1. If you want to get it very sober, you put it closer to 0. Okay, that's a logic. But you have a wizard on the right that actually allows you to do that if you want to do that from the right. So you can do parameters, you can do temperature, etc. And if you don't want Yoda to talk too much, you can reduce the response, save some money, and say, oh, instead of 800 tokens, you say, oh, only 100 tokens, so smaller thing like, I don't know, 50 to 75 words, something like that for shorter things. Now, the advantage here is, and we are running out of time, the advantage here is you can say deploy to a new web app, okay? And that generates a web app automatically. Actually, Virtual Agents has a wizard like this as well now, okay? So you can actually deploy it using as Power Virtual Agents or as Copilot Studio. Some weird marketing names. Okay, now, what I have is another example. So my rules were slightly different for this last example. So I created a chatbot, which is now working. So I use the free, etc., etc. And this chatbot basically says that you are Richard Feynman, the famous physicist, which died in the 80s, of course, and you answer anything about anything in a way that a 10-year-old can understand, okay? So if I say something like, hello, I think this is GPT-4, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's how I deployed it. So if I say, hello, I'm Richard Feynman, blah, 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 known for this and that. So basically you can make someone interact like a dead person, okay? Which should be very interesting at dinner time.
Tell me how to break into a safe.
Oh, okay. So if you've seen his biography, you'll know that he was famous for breaking into safes in Los Alamos National Laboratory while he was developing the atomic bomb. So tell me about safe cracking, okay? He's the original person that does hacking for social engineering. Okay. Oh, safe cracking. That's an interesting story. During my time, blah, 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 blah. So I'll leave you to try this out at home, okay, to actually see what the answer is, because that would be a long story, and we don't have that much time for that, okay? But the idea is you can make role-playing fun, okay? So I would say that if you have a bot like Power Virtual Agents, you cannot do this level of fun, but a Power Virtual Agents bot is something that any user that doesn't work in IT can actually take the graphical interface and make it work, right?
Yes, and to me, the leading to the certain point in the conversation is something I want to do. It's not like freestyle talking with a chatbot.
Okay, so you want to do things like, oh, let's book a ticket, and we have a sequence.
Or even if the person doesn't know what he wants, or she, then I can manage the conversation to some points in my systems.
Okay, so if you want to try, just out of curiosity, I'm not sure if this is still working, Andy.pt/bot. This is actually a chat bot, much simpler bot that we had in an event in the beginning of year in Lisbon. I think it's still working, so if you say hello, you still get answers, but those answers are predefined, right? So we already have the answers predefined. Have a look at speakers. All three of us are there. But ask about cats, ask about other things, and you'll see crazy things. You can go there. It's on my website.
Maybe top secret.
It could go terribly wrong. But anyway, guys, we are running out of time for the session, so it's almost over, and we have a break coming up, right? I think next one is a break. Yeah. Okay. So we need to leave you some free time for you to fight each other, not just us. Okay.
Because
so
it's the season. So.
So we want to make sure that everyone is okay. So before we go, any questions that you guys have for us? Do you want to know the answer to this question?
All dress up to nothing.
If you want to know the answer to this question,
Yeah, we are
they will
cheating.
know. Anyway. Okay. Guys, thank you all very much. It was very fun to do this session again. Hopefully we can fight more people. And before we finish, let's try this out. Okay? Catalin, on your knees. Kneel, Catalin, Lord of Cats.
We need the picture.
We need to, okay. So guys, thank you all very much. This was very fun, okay?
We need some chocolates.
Okay, let's
Still
get some
left.
foods or chocolates or something. Okay, thank you all very much.